Time to get the girls in another world and build the ultimate Isekai harem. Here are 10 new romance Isekai harem anime you must watch. Let's go. Number 10, Loner Life in Another World. We're starting off with a loner because that's probably the trope that started the Isekai harem genre in the first place. This is about Haruka, a guy who spent his high school years as a total loner. But one day, he and his classmates are magically transported to a new world. A god shows up and lets them pick cool skills, but by the time Haruka's turn comes, all the good ones are gone. Annoyed, he complains to God, who gets fed up and gives him a bunch of leftover useless skills. Now, with a loner skill, Haruka sets out on his own in this weird, dangerous world.
はるかくん、こんなことをお願いしにくいんだけど、今日だけでもみんなを止めてくれないかな。何？女子高生が泊まりに来るだと
！This is one of those binge watch it for guilty pleasure shows for me. Yeah, the presence feels like it was ripped off of Eri Furita, but the show finds its own original storylines along the way. And as you know, this is an anime, so even if the guy's a loner, he is going to keep attracting girls like a magnet. This checks all the boxes to fit into this list, so give this one a go. Number 9, I left my A-rank party to help my former students reach the dungeon depths.
俺が役に立てることを君たちにアピールしないとね。
生配信しちゃおうよ。面白そうだから。きっと精霊の導きに違いありません。頑張りましょうね、先生。
Nothing like sensei helping his students, am I right? This is about Yuke, a red mage who quits his party and then finds his own students have formed a party. He joins it and it even helps his students reach to the very top. Their goal is to conquer achromatic darkness, which is basically the hardest dungeon in all of Isekai history. Can sensei and his 3 female students defeat the big bad evil? Nope.
ユウクが幸運の4枚目なの。
俺たちはクローバーだ。みんな慎重に楽しもう。
By the time I'm writing this, it isn't released yet. But by the time you're watching this video, it should be out. Honestly, by reading the description, I can exactly think what's going on. Sensei gets betrayed, Sensei meets 3 cute students, Sensei lives happily with his 3 students, except there's a big bad dungeon waiting for them. Let's see how this turns out. Number 8, my unique skill makes me OP even at level 1.
エミリーに一緒に来てほしい。
If you think the weaker guy turning to be the underdog trope is over, think again. This is about Satao Rota, an overworked office worker stuck in a tough job until he gets awakened in a dungeon. With help from a girl he meets named Emily, he finds his skills are at the weakest except for one skill. Turns out this guy has a skill called Drop Skill, which he can use to level up.
りょうたさん、このりょうたスイカもぜひうちで先輩契約をお願いします。
おお。
Okay, on the good side, this anime introduces the main heroine straight away and doesn't take its sweet time developing the main plot. The entire premise is fast-paced, and the side characters are also pretty interesting. Yeah, it doesn't have the best animation in the world, but come on, we're in for some chilly isekai. Number 7, Spirit Chronicles.
そこのお兄さん、可愛い彼女へ贈り物はいかがですか？彼女とかじゃないですから。あら、お似合いだからてっきり。
If you can't date the popular girl in your own world, no problem. Just get isekai to date the popular girl in another world. Body swapping, royal academies, a mystery about who you are and your purpose in life. Now mash all that together into one anime. Oh, and don't forget the girls, the overpowered main character, and even a teacher, and you got Spirit Chronicles.
なんと、お兄ちゃん、その人誰？これはどういうことですか？
だから誤解なんです。
Once again, this is about a guy who gets transported into another world and then gets treated like the worst person in existence, even after he attends a royal academy. But turns out this guy is very overpowered, so the same isekai logic applies. The more overpowered you are, the more girls you get. But jokes aside, I really love the last arc. The whole save the teacher from marriage arc is where the show shines. Oh, and season 2 just got released, so check it out. Number 6, Farming Life in Another World.
ラティバイパーの肉はとても貴重だと聞きます。食べると活力がみなぎって 夫婦仲は円満に子宝にも恵まれると。
It's time to inherit your grandfather's farm and get the girls. Aw yeah, Stardew Valley style. Just kidding. This anime isn't inspired by Stardew Valley. This anime is inspired by all the vegans out there. Unlike most anime heroes and stories like this, Hiraku has one simple goal: to live a calm and healthy life. Why? Because in his past life, he died for being sick and his final wish was, that's it, I'm going vegan and staying healthy, so he decides to become a farmer.
はじめまして。私はメイドたちを代表しておりますアンと申します。何なりと私どもをお使いください、主様。
Farming Life in Another World delivers exactly what it says on the tin. It's all about farming. Nothing more, nothing less. That's what makes it such a solid slice of life anime. It's not about a farmer who becomes a warrior or fights in battles. Nope, it's about a guy farming and getting girls. Or a guy farming girls. Or a guy getting farming girls. Because these girls help him in farming too. Anyways, you know what you're up for. So if that's your thing, go give this one a go. Number 5, am I actually the strongest?
様に先にお使いしたのは私だ。そしてお前は2番目。この意味がわかるな。
I'm not saying this was a show that I was hyped about, but I honestly kind of loved it after I finished watching it. This is about a guy who plans to build a perfect life as a shut-in NEET, but then gets thrown to the wild by his royal parents because his magic levels go in negative numbers. But surprise, surprise, turns out he's actually overpowered and now he needs to manage a little sister while getting help from his harem.
さすがドラゴン。その姿でも飛べるんだな。じゃあ行くか。
If you're someone who loves royal isekai, and by that I mean isekai about royalty, then you'll love this one. Sure, the guy gets kicked out of the palace before he could say, I want mama. But in the end, he's overpowered and he manages to get the girls, and I think that's a perfect win. Number 4, the aristocrat's otherworldly adventure, serving gods who go too far.
かわいそうだが。
私はますますこのカイン男爵と結婚したい気持ちが激しくなりました。強く、そして強く。
なんでそうなるの？
Looking for an anime with an overpowered hero, feel good vibes, and adorable character designs? Look no further. Shina Kazuya dies saving a girl and ends up reincarnated in a fantasy world. Now he's Cain von Silfoot, the third son of a noble family. His new life is packed with challenges. He's got to nail his studies, get church blessings, and of course, get the girls.
今日からよろしく頼むね。はい。カイン君、制服似合いすぎ。ペレスとシルクだって。
Once again, this is one of those chillin' in another world type of anime. It's mostly about slice of life adventures in another world with some action and tension here and there. Instead of giving ReZero levels of pain for our main character, no world-ending battles, just a chill story about a guy living his best life and charming everyone along the way. Add this to your feel-good isekai list. Number 3, Tsukimishi Moonlit Fantasy.
若様。よく来てくださった。このバカを止めてくださる。若様、巴さんばかりエコひいきではありませんか。ひいきとはなんじゃ。わしはちゃんと見合った働きをしておる。
Have you noticed how the goddess in anime who summons main characters are usually super kind and sweet? Well, not this one. When Makoto Misumi gets sent to another world, the goddess there takes away all his titles just because she thinks he's ugly. Yep, no mercy. Now stuck in a monster-filled land, Makoto has to deal with challenges to reclaim the powers he's lost, all because the goddess wasn't a fan of his looks.
どうぞお好きな方に。
わかったよ。ソファーで寝るよ。
ミオや、これは作戦を練る必要がありそうじゃ。
And even though it's called Moonlit Fantasy, don't expect anything dreamy or magical. This one's darker than usual isekai anime. But don't worry, Makoto still gets the girls and slowly turns into an overpowered badass. So if you're into anime where the underdog rises up and totally crushes everyone who doubted him, this one's worth checking out. Number 2, Tales of Wedding Rings.
ねえ、佐藤、私のは？
ああ、ごめん。姫は自分でやってくれ。
普通そこまでやる？
姫。
Chain Soldier and Tales of Wedding Rings were the guilty pleasure contenders of 2024, and I feel like Tales of Wedding Rings got the upper hand. Yes, the main character looks like the most generic guy imaginable, but every other thing about this show is good. It promises what it delivers, then delivers what it promises, steps away from the regular character design, and it takes it in a new direction. And the girls also have completely different personalities.
あなた、お帰りなさい。お風呂にする？ ご飯にする？それとも私？
The story follows Satao, a normal high school guy who's been crushing on his mysterious childhood friend Hime ever since she moved in next door. Things get crazy when they whisked away into a parallel world where Hime becomes a queen candidate. Then Satao shows up at her wedding, crashes the whole thing, snags the ring, and makes her his bride. Yeah, that's a lot of twists, but it all happens in the first episode, which is the entire reason why it's good. Number 1, Mushoku Tensei.
死んじゃうね。このままだと。自分じゃ脱げないんだ。脱がせてよ。
Come on, when it comes to Isekai Harem anime, you can't forget Mushoku Tensei. This is the anime where the guy brings his second wife, who is also his teacher, while his first wife is expecting their first child, and somehow survives without getting slapped in the face. I know, that sentence doesn't paint a good picture about the show, but trust me, this is so good. Otherwise, I wouldn't be adding it as number 1.
ごめんなさい、ルーです。私、あんまりこういうの得意じゃないから。いえ。
Mushoku Tensei has the same premise. A guy who's sucked in the real world gets a second chance in another world. But that's not where it shines. It's all about the details of that world. The original author spent a ton of time building the world, making connections with the main character's previous life, and developing the side characters so much that this isekai feels more realistic than modern slice-of-life anime. Apart from the harem, you've got depression, magical attacks, adventures, love confessions. I mean, seriously, this is the best isekai harem show out there.